Hello once again, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of AIW's. The card is going to change. Before we get into this week's episode, as always, we want to start off by giving a shout out to our sponsors that help us bring the show to you for free each and every week. Thanks to Pollyanna DIY. They make amazing enamel pins, t-shirts, all sorts of awesome stuff. I know Thorne is still pumped about the Bruiser Brody t-shirt they got going on right now. So you can check that out, Pollyanna DIY. Follow them on social media. Of course, thanks to Smart Mark Video, who handles all of our live recording. Thank you to them. And if you want to check out a previous AIW show, maybe it's an event that you attended or, you didn't get to go to it at all, purchase it on DVD or download it at smartmarkvideo.com. And while we talk about video, thanks, of course, to independentwrestling.tv. You can stream past AIW shows, all sorts of different fun things.
Not to cut you off, but they just put all sorts of newer releases up this week.
I was just going to say, Wrestle Rager 3 is now on there, right?
Welcome to the party, pal. Masato Tanaka versus Nick Gage is up.
Wow, how about that? Ain't nothing, right, but a gangster party?
Yeah, I missed that one. I was in the hospital for that one.
Well, you're going to have to...
I still have not watched it.
You're going to have to sign up using code ABSOLUTE and get your free 20-day trial there.
Yeah, please sign up those promo codes. Help us out a little bit. Sign up using promo code ABSOLUTE at independentwrestling.tv. Pretty sure that's the address. Is that the address?
Yeah, independentwrestling.tv. Yeah, you got it.
All right.
And
it's been a while since I did this.
Thanks as well to Angelo's Pizza. Awesome sponsors of ours. And, of course, it goes even further. If you didn't see photos from the Derek Director wedding, they even made a stop and took photos there because that's where they got engaged. So Angelo's all aboard the AIW train.
Yeah, he says he gets a lifetime discount. So
yeah.
If anybody else wants a lifetime discount to Angelo's.
So check out Angelo's Pizza on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio. Joining us here on this roundtable today as we preview the upcoming JLIT weekend for you, as well as 2 nights of JLIT. We have the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament, joined by the Duke, who is sitting alongside us here.
Hi, everyone.
I don't think the Duke's mic's on.
Oh, that's a plot.
So joyful. I'm sure they hear you in the background.
I don't know what's on.
Oh, there you are.
There we are. Now we're live.
I had you turned down.
Oh.
Also
turned down for what?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's
Pop Culture Pete right there. He is with the times, folks.
Hey, man. What do you want?
We're also joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Maserati Wes Barkley.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that introduction. That was great. Thank you.
And as always, AIW owner John Thorne is here.
I am.
My name is Steve Guy. I'm your moderator of sorts. So, JLIT weekend,
It's here.
One of the biggest weekends in independent wrestling.
I hope so.
As I'm told by
I think
fans
the
all the
biggest.
time.
I think it's the biggest weekend.
Always one of the most nerve-wracking weekends being around John Thorne.
Oh, yeah.
So
there's a large amount of people that need to get to Cleveland, and so, yeah it tends to be a little
now, one of the
problematic.
To point out right away, we've had people ask, like, well, I don't think I'm going to be in town for both those nights. Yes, you can get a single-day ticket. You can buy just to one show, so there are 3 shows over the course of that weekend.
And if people were just a little bit more assertive and went to the website, they would notice the drop down and all the different various ticket options available.
People are lazy, John. You know this.
The drop down, the leapfrog,
but people just
something.
The hip toss, all that stuff.
I'll see you there.
If for some reason you can't make your vacation plans, we are doing something awesome this year.
You think it's awesome?
Well, I think it's
cool.
Awesome.
Live and direct. You can't make
live.
it.
So if you're on the beach, if you're on the beach on vacation, you can bring your tablet.
Yep.
You can watch a little JLIT while you're drinking a fruity drink in Aruba or something like that.
Right. You can watch us on Fight TV.
Live on Fight TV.
We are
JLIT weekend, all 3 shows. Are you kidding me?
All 3 shows.
Are you kidding me?
We got this is 45 minutes long. You got to ease up on that hard sell, man. You got you got to last that whole time.
This is coffee talk
You're
right here. I'm
too
fired
early,
up.
man.
I'm fired up.
All right.
This is espresso talk right here.
All
All right.
And look, once again, if you're penny pinching, I don't know why you wouldn't want to watch the entire weekend.
What's that? What's penny pinching? What is that?
Well, people who are making 6 figures or more probably don't know. But
mad at people that use coupons.
I hate those people.
You ever driven by a thrift store, Duke?
I have. I point and laugh when I go by.
Yeah, okay.
Man.
So So those kind of folk, you could buy just one of the shows during the course of the weekend. But again, I don't know why you would. If you're not going to be there, you might as well just buy the whole package.
Yeah, so
to watch on Fight TV.
You know, just like the tickets, Fight TV is also offering the a la carte option. You can buy one night, the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament, or night 2. You can buy them all separately, or you can buy all 3 for $24.99, and I believe that comes with unlimited replays.
So for $25,
Talk about a steal.
you can watch the whole thing.
That is,
You
I
might
mean,
as well do
in
it.
all honesty, that is a pretty good
3
freaking
shows?
deal. I mean, even if you don't watch them all, you might as well. I mean, because what's one? $10, $14 or something like that. You might as well get
Right.
all 3 of them.
Yeah.
You might as well,
It's a steal.
yeah. Absolutely. And
Come on,
you,
what's wrong with you people?
and you
Yeah.
get the replays, so it's not like you have to watch them. If you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch it right then. All right, you can watch it the rest
You
of
can
the
watch
week.
it later.
You'd
Yeah,
be
so
all right.
I was unprepared, but I've gone and I've looked up the pricing. It is for a JLIT night 1, it is $12.99. For the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament, it is $9.99. And for JLIT night 2, it is $12.99. Or you get all 3 for $25.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because
might as well
I mean,
do
if you're a fan, you're going to buy them anyway.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get them on Smart Mark or whatever else.
And you don't have to wait around for him to come out.
Right.
This is live and direct.
Watch it.
I can't believe we got to tell these people this
I
stuff.
know,
They should
but
know these
live and
things.
direct.
We
Come
got
on.
We got to do it. That's
Live
what we're here
TV,
for.
pal.
We're
Yeah.
live.
We're
We'll be live,
live.
pal.
We're doing it live. That's exactly what the Rip City Shooters are doing day Saturday.
It's kind of funny that we're, you know, last week we covered our Slumber Party Massacre pay-per-view.
Right.
And now here we are promoting another one, which I did not honestly think we'd be doing this so quick. But here we are.
Well, we did that one so well that we figured, what the hell, we might as well give it another shot.
We'll
And
see.
we will be back at the Odeon. So for those of you who attended our show in May there, we're going to be right back there in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. And I think people loved the vibe
I hope.
of having a
I
show
thought
there.
it was awesome. Man.
I had never been in that building before.
Yeah.
I thought it was the coolest thing ever because, like I was telling everybody, every time I turned around, there was like another little pocket of seats. And so there was like people all over the place, you know,
Yeah.
to work with and feed off of and everything else. And it was just, you turn your head and go like, oh, there's 12 seats over there. And then there's seats on the stage. And like, oh, there's a little area over there. Oh, there's people upstairs. You know, there was like people everywhere. So
Yeah,
it
and I
was-
guess
it was
this
cool.
this episode will kind of work as like a JLIT weekend FAQ, so to speak. We'll try to cover
Yeah.
a lot of questions. A question that I've gotten that I'll just address is the stage seating, at least as of right now for this show. It could change for shows going forward, but the seating on the stage is general admission seating. So if you have a
Wow.
general admission ticket, those seats are first come, first serve.
Get there.
What is the seating on the stage in the Mrs. Dad section?
Well, that's general admission. If,
Okay, all right, all right.
You know, those people that sat
There
up
was
there.
there was a barricade there, so I wasn't sure.
Well, you know, we
the-
we
we don't
try
have
to
velvet ropes.
we try
gotta
to
do
we
what
try to accommodate the local celebrities.
Okay.
To be able to be the corny one, that's general admission.
Oh, you are you are the corny one, Steve.
you
At least
go.
you admitted it.
It's going to be a long podcast. And then also the balcony seating is also general admission. So, and even if so,
And they
the seat-
limit that. You know, they don't make it too bad because once you get to a certain point. But
But
I
it's-
watched
it's-
most of the show from up there.
it's tiered up there, so
A
like,
little bit, yeah.
You could go on the second tier and still see the
Yeah,
ring.
like I said, I watched most of the show from up there that I was able to watch, and I saw it okay. I was standing behind the commentary, and I saw it okay. And if the commentary's doing it up there, it must be. You
Yeah,
know,
the
decent.
ring
Good view for sure.
is in good view of the second tier of the balcony.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Guys going into the crowd, you know, look,
You know where you get a really good view from the balcony is when dudes literally fall off the balcony in front of you. Great view of that.
more on that on a later show.
We'll address that another day.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about, I guess, John, how you go into creating the JLIT lineup as we preview this. Let's start there because I know we kind of probably talk about it every year, but it's worth noting. I know you try to mix and
Well,
match.
I
a variety
guess
of
even
different
before
ways.
we get into that, the fact that we had to change the JLIT date this year.
Well, yeah, there you go. Great point. Let's start there. Traditionally, we do it Memorial Day weekend.
Right. And we had gotten a little insider tip
Love it.
Obviously, this is before the whole Mount Carmel debacle, but we had booked all of our dates at Mount Carmel through the year of 2019. And one of those dates was Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend. It was the Friday and Saturday. I started hearing rumblings of at that time, All In 2 is what people were really referring to it as, possibly happening Memorial Day weekend. And I did a little digging and had some people ask some people, and I received a message that was, hey, I would suggest probably not running that day, running the tournament that weekend or something like that. So even though I was up in the air on how many people, at that time, how many people could it really affect that we would have booked, the big concern was StarCast booking literally everybody.
Right.
So we started making some changes, as well as with us running WrestleMania weekend this year. It kind of needed us to push our regular schedule back a little bit to accommodate that into the schedule. So that's kind of how it all started, and it figures that the year that the Cavs are literally the worst team in the NBA, and we have no NBA playoffs to worry about, this problem comes up. So we decide to push it to June. We look, finding a venue was an issue, at this time, because we were kicked out of Mount Carmel. We're told that we have to move this date, or we're recommended that we should probably move this date, and we start looking for venues. And then that's when I started talking to the Odeon, and we started looking to make sure the Indians were out of town. And this was a big weekend, this was one of the weekends that they would be gone. So we were trying to do a lot more planning for this date than people, I think, understand.
We really try to do our due diligence, especially because, again, even though the Duke may not be a penny pincher or very thrifty, we do try to look out for you, the consumer. And, if the Indians are at home all weekend long, depending on who they're playing, look, that could raise parking prices all over the place. So we made sure they're out of town when we selected that date. With the Cavs, Thorne, a little bit of blessing in disguise as well, though, because had they been in the NBA Finals, if they were facing the Warriors, who, as it's going on right now, aren't doing so hot, we could have been up against a championship hangover or parade during this week too. So,
well, LeBron left, so we don't got to worry about it.
We don't have to worry about it.
What it could have, should have.
What that cost you to get him out to sign to
That
the
did kind of
Lakers?
work out.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, can you give me a break here and get out of here?
He did come to my high school. He did come to my high school when he was a junior, and we had a talk.
Did you?
Just make some connects there.
Yeah.
Good. So we selected the date. Like John said, a lot went into it, and then from there, it's just a matter of now, because we've changed it, who's available. As everybody knows, draft pick number 1 for JLIT weekend was not available.
Yeah, Little Guido, not available.
Sad.
So that is why we actually went back, and he was initially booked for the May JLIT weekend, so he was already booked for us. So we
had that marked on his calendar
last year,
right? Yeah,
Yes, he probably just marks it every year at this point.
So that's why we decided when the Goldhorn thing came about to just keep that date so we can have Guido in and just provide a little fun, low pressure show. But there's a lot that goes into the JLIT weekend, but it's really hard to explain how I just arrive at things. Like, I have these ideas in my head from years prior, and they all just kind of come together. Savio Vega was a guy that has been on the list
He's been on it for quite some time.
for years, but it's like,
Damn.
I could never really find him. And then I think I talked to him a little bit last year, and then it was like right when, all the just horrific things happened in Puerto Rico, and he said, like, we have really bad internet down here, and like it was hard. The communication back and forth was was very limited. And then this year, I talked to him again, and just like a lot of the luchadors, Savio Vega is a user of the WhatsApp program.
Hey.
And we started talking a little bit on WhatsApp, and we worked out a deal, and he was draft pick number 1, and then we kind of
There it is.
move on from there.
So speaking of, as we're sitting here and we're watching older
watching
wrestling
Velocities.
An incredibly jacked JLIT participant wrestle
against a former JLIT participant.
Yeah.
in this tag match, which is great. I'm watching this. I'm like, man, I wish we could
Remember when he
recreate
had
this for
the neck brace on? And he
I-
was just ripping butt heavies.
I did get offered Super Crazy, but I just
Shout out Super Crazy.
I thought it might be a little too soon.
What do you mean? He's super and he's crazy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I like mixing up the special JLIT guests outside of.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a hot
I think
JLIT
he
run
did all
Saturday
right.
show.
I think he did all right.
he
Would
did
you-
the Saturday show against Guido.
And then he breaks his neck almost.
Yeah, didn't even get to finish JLIT
Oh,
weekend off.
fucking-
But he was crushing beers in the parking
Neck
lot with
brace.
our fans
With the neck
Yeah.
brace.
with the
He
neck
rallied.
brace. So
He rallied.
he did provide an amazing AIW experience for
Yeah.
the fans. So you got what you could out of him. It was
We're getting
great.
off the rails.
We are real
Oh,
fast.
unless we're not ripping him.
Super Crazy.
Are you
Did
saying
we
the
establish
matches, or
this?
are you
for
saying
talking
every
about?
name?
No, well, we're gonna get.
We'll get there. I mean, we're talking about Savio Vega now.
Oh,
Come on.
yeah.
Those
Well, that's what I was
prequels.
going to say.
Come
Him
on.
and MJF. That's what's announced.
Right.
And that should be interesting for sure, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, like, the hard part is like, so all these people think like the JLIT and all these wrestling shows are like booked well in advance with like a long drawn out like script, and maybe there are some people that do that, but how the JLIT is booked is you get the puzzle pieces, and then you try to make the puzzle after the fact. So it's like I arrived. There were several different options for Savio Vega, and I arrived at. I think MJF would probably be the one that stood out to be the most ridiculous to me, honestly.
It's funny that
Definitely.
you say you're talking about puzzles and puzzle pieces, because the puzzle this year is like when you're doing the puzzle and suddenly you realize, oh shit, I can't find these last 2 pieces. We did run into a little bit of that this year.
Well, yeah. I mean, we didn't. We never discussed. We never finished your thought that we were watching Kid Cash.
Yes, sorry, we were
Well, I
watching.
didn't want to
Sorry.
spoil it.
We were watching Kid Cash and Super Crazy.
That's
yes.
my bad.
Yeah.
Kid
Got off
Cash,
the
another
subject.
special guest though.
Yeah, who
this
was
year.
Kid
Dead
Cash?
level?
Kid Cash is sweet. I don't know. I don't
sure.
care what anyone says.
He's another
Yes,
one that's
sir.
been.
I stand right by that statement.
He's been
Was Chris
talked about.
Chetty not available?
Chris Chetty is not looking ring ready. I found him on. I found him on Facebook.
That's your
And
hero.
it
Yeah, I was
is-
gonna say, dude,
and I was so
that's your guy.
I was so disappointed. I did find him on Facebook, and I said, I'm not even gonna send this message.
Oh man.
Next
I
year,
love
next year.
Chris Chetty though.
Next year.
Maybe he listens to the
um,
podcast.
Maybe you should have DCR send him like a motivational.
There
message.
you go. Oh, nice.
I think he's doing all right. But so, there was a lot of people that were considered, and then you talk to them, and maybe their price seems a little outrageous, or it's just like there's all sorts of different rhymes or reasons that go into it, and like there's not like, with that said, there's not like this is the JLIT price, like I have to really kind of like ballpark like all sorts of different things to be like, okay, that's a fair price, or maybe that's not a fair price. And there are people that just weren't really into it. Like I tried to get Chris Hamrick, and he was like kind of into it, but not like not really into it because he hasn't wrestled in a while. And there were several others that I reached out to. Like I talked to Tommy Rich, and that one didn't work out. Then Joey Janela's going on, like thought got like a international offer, and then I think he's now wound up on a on another show. And then I was also talking to Joe Doring again. I talked to him last year, I believe. I was talking to him again this year from All Japan, and he was going to be in North America, but just based on where he is, like transportation was going to be really difficult. And I was working with Sam Adonis is promoting a show in Pittsburgh on Thursday night, and we were going to try to split some travel on a few guys, and he was one of them, and it just didn't work out.
We did also try to get Quack. He was unavailable.
Yes, I tried Quackenbush. I try him every year. I try Reckless Youth all the time.
Hey,
because like it was like things were booked, but then those last two spots took a long time to fill, and that's why we were kind of a little bit late on announcing everybody. It was like boom, 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 and then there was like a little I stalled it because we were trying to fill those last two spots, and I was reaching out to so many different people, and I was it's like I call it like Moneyball. Like I'm like moneyballing everything to try to like figure out the best combination and the best people. And there was a time where Manders was in the mix and Alley Cat was in the mix, and
Right.
All sorts of different people were in the mix. And then ultimately, when Janela officially couldn't do it, I reached out to Marco Stunt, and that's kind of how he wound up in the tournament, because he is a guy that is heavily requested by the AIW fan base. So I've decided, okay, I'm gonna give them what they want. Now I hope that they come out Friday and Saturday to support it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
yeah.
I feel that this is probably the strongest JLIT lineup that we've ever put together, top to bottom.
It is, and it's to your
History
point.
will be made,
Stacked
as they
lineup.
say.
To your point of what, yeah.
is that the saying of the weekend? When we win the
More
tag
on
team
tag
tournament?
team tournament
Get
later.
ahead of yourself.
But as you're talking about giving the fans what they wanted, that this lineup is kind of full of it. We have our regulars,
Stacked.
and then along the lines of Marco Stunt, another guy who's made his return into wrestling, and people have been already asking, and you get the Twitter tags. AIW's Eric Stevens,
Yes.
who's entered in this JLIT now.
And those, like I said, they weren't the final two announced, but they were the final two quote unquote invitations that were sent out.
Yeah.
And like I said, there was all sorts of, and I probably would sit here for hours if I really broke down all the different people that were up for consideration or were contacted or weren't available or different things. But I just went, you know what, like, because you're trying to save on flights and you're trying to save on these other outside expenses, and I went, you know what, like, fuck it, like Eric Stevens, Sarasota, Florida, let's do it. Marco Stunt, I think he's from like somewhere in Mississippi, let's do it. And we'll figure it out later. So that's kind of where we're at. Eric Stevens had a very well received match on the Beyond Wrestling Uncharted Territory a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people were kind of clamoring for, okay, like, what's his next thing gonna be? And I'm happy to offer him another platform to see if he could keep the momentum going.
And on that note, Eric Stevens tweeted out a list of matches that he wanted. On that list was one Dominic Guarini.
And honestly, that had a lot to do with him getting that last spot, because he was somebody that was up for consideration, but I didn't watch his match at Beyond, and to be perfectly honest, I didn't watch a lot of the No Remorse Corps in Ring of Honor, so I'm just going by what I read on Twitter and what people are saying. And when I saw that list, I went, you know what? All right, I'll see. I'll reach out and I'll see. And he was available, and we worked out a deal, and he booked that match himself, pretty much. Dom. I know Dom wanted it. He wanted it. Might as well cross one off the list for him.
So round one, JLIT. Here we go. Dominic Guarini, Eric Stevens. So that's two matches we've given you already.
Well, that's the cool thing about this tournament. It's not the people that come in, the different, the diversity maybe not be the right word, but the diversity of the talent that comes in is cool. But when you actually put them on paper and you put them against each other, you always get the weirdest, wildest match combinations. You're like, you didn't know you wanted to see that until you see the match graphic and you go, I really want to see that.
Well, we got Mordecai and Swoggle one year, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You get these things
Classic.
where you're like
Trash can.
like two guys,
Nice.
and maybe I'm jumping ahead. I don't know, but
No,
I know we announced it. So you have guys like two guys that in a normal AIW setting have literally no reason to be in the ring with each other.
Sure.
One-on-one. You have like Nick Gage and AJ.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going in completely different directions. They have literally no reason to ever cross paths in the ring, but
In this tournament,
that's what happens.
And that was another one. Like I said, when you get all the puzzle pieces, and then you try to find the puzzle. There were a lot of good matchups for both of those guys that I thought, but this one was just the most intriguing to me. Every time I, scribbled out a new rough draft of this, I kept kind of going back to that and saying, it's very interesting to me. That's I don't know why it just kept standing out, and I hope my kind of gut feeling on that pays off, because like Duke said, 9 times out of 10, nobody's going to really book those guys against each other. But
Yeah.
Nick Gage is, he's a heavy-handed hitter, and AJ Gray is no slouch in that department either. AJ Gray is probably more known for, doing dives and flips to the outside, but he throws a pretty fucking mean lariat, and he hits hard. So I think that. And another thing, AJ got an opportunity last year, and I don't think it went as good as he had hoped it would have went with Tracy Williams. And I think he's kind of has, he got it out of his system. I don't know if you want to call it nerves or whatever, like big opportunity. I think this year he's coming in kind of a different person, and he's kind of found himself a little bit more, and I think he's a lot more confident of a performer. And I think he knows, he's got to stand out.
Oh, and I think he's kind of salivating over this opportunity right here. He knows that Nick Gage is, one of the top tier guys here in AIW. So AJ being pitted against him, this is his opportunity to, hey man, what you got? Let's see it. Put it all on the line.
And before we continue, I don't even know if we covered this at the top of the show, but did we cover the after party locations?
We did not mention the after parties yet.
Because, like I said, this is going to be an FAQ, so I'm trying to cross off everything that people want to know.
Sure. After party, night one, the traditional spot of Nax, Eatery and Drinkery.
Because, and some people may say, why is it there? That is close to the official JLIT Hotel, the Howard Johnson Airport, Cleveland Airport location.
Hojo.
Yeah, tell them if they're looking for...
At the time when we set everything up, they had, I don't know what they have now, but if you call there, it's the Hojo. It's on Snow
Road. And there's a friggin' Bob Evans right next door. Can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, and we have suites, right? Me and you got suites?
Yeah, they have
I don't know what you're doing.
They have a third floor up
That's
there.
what I'm saying.
One time we destroyed a hotel room when Sergeant Slaughter was there, way back in the day. Statute of limitations is over with.
If you do call the Howard Johnson and they happen to have rooms for you, make sure you ask for Ashley. She's the manager there. She takes care of us. She's handling all of that, and she'll make sure she gets you the deal. So if those prices, however they fluctuate, if they happen to be higher by the time you're booking it, she'll get you the exact rate that you need.
Yeah, $55, I think, for a night.
I think it might be less than that this year, actually.
So,
wow.
And also, if they do happen to sell out, like there are a zillion hotels in that area that are affordable, as opposed to staying downtown by the Odeon. Like all those hotels are starting at like $160 and up. This for a weekend downtown. So. We try to keep it as thrifty and affordable as possible for everybody that's trying to travel in for this. So night one, the after party will be at Nax. And for those of you who can't get a hotel at the Howard Johnson, anything near the Cleveland Airport is pretty much close to Nax.
Yeah, absolutely.
And night two, we will be back at Good Company, which is where we went to after Keep Their Heads Ringing, and people really enjoyed it.
Not far from Mount Carmel.
Good spot.
Yeah, Good Company. They really,
It was solid. I mean, they had
They had terrible
Landell
scotch.
on the TV.
Okay,
man.
dude, we got a sponsor. This is a sponsor. You're mad about the fucking.
No, shout out
You're
to
mad they
good
didn't have
company. The food
$20
was great.
scotch.
No, I'm mad they didn't have the right kind.
Damn.
What's the right kind for you? I'm
They
sure
did
they
have Buddy Landell on.
I'm
so
sure
that-
if they listen to this and they know that the Duke is coming to night 2, they will pick up scotch for you. What's the right kind?
I need some Johnny Walker. Any kind of Johnny Walker.
Because the owner,
Preferably gold and above. But
Ooh.
the owner of Good Company is a huge AIW fan. I know he does listen to the podcast because we talked that evening.
if I walk in there Saturday after night 2 and there's a bottle of black sitting behind the bar,
Are you going to buy the whole thing?
I might.
Hey.
I might.
Have you ever
Nice.
been with the Duke when he's drinking scotch?
Oh, my God.
Oh yeah,
It's
double. Those are double scotches.
It's borderline obnoxious because he
That's
just
Duke
wants to
money.
flaunt his money. It's $47 drinks.
Hashtag
That is
Duke
not
money.
true. That is not true.
Oh, give me a double. Oh, that'll be $47.50, sir. Oh, that's nothing.
I don't remember saying, "Oh, that's a nothing."
My whole tab for the whole weekend won't be $47.50. But yeah, so we're back at Good Company. They're going to keep the kitchen open late too, so everyone could get some food. They had a lot of good food deals going on last time.
The food was really good.
Good food, great drinks.
Selling
great
they,
food, good
They
drinks.
sell
Whatever.
full bottles of wine. They got it
Yeah.
all there.
Good food, good drinks.
Great food, great
company.
drinks.
Company?
Good company. Yeah. Sorry. I
Good
was trying to-
parking. Good ample parking
Good
there
parking.
in the back.
Great
Yeah.
food.
They have
good
wrestling on one TV at all times
Yep.
of operation.
I
so-
love that spot, dude.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're going back.
So we're good
It's a
company.
hidden gem.
Yep.
So that's the after party situation for the weekend. So we'll be
Where's the after party?
Whoa.
let's see if we can make it that far.
Yeah. Yeah. It varies.
We can
Depends
get
on
back.
if soft sabbatical's over or not.
We can get back into the JLIT breakdown. I just wanted to. I didn't want to forget to.
No, it's
Publicize
good.
the after parties, 'cause people
recap
keep
that at the end,
asking.
too. So let's go. We already brought up Kid Cash, and he is going to be taking on in round 1 the gold standard for AIW, the captain of the ship, Lewis Linden.
Again, lots of different intriguing matchups for Kid Cash, and I think Lewis Linden is going to be able to let him know, like, hey, like, we're not a bunch of fuck ups, because these guys don't know when they take these bookings and what they're getting themselves into. And I think Lewis Linden has been in there with everybody and anybody and held his own from Too Cold Scorpio, Ultimo Dragon to a Paul Burchill to a TKD. He's hit all levels of the spectrum of like experience levels and gets good things, and he's very competent. So I thought that this was a very good matchup for Kid Cash, and I think that they are capable of having a show-stealing night 1 matchup.
From Lewis Linden to Flip Kendrick. Flip Kendrick's in round 1, and he's taking in going up against a guy coming from the woods.
KTB.
Hey.
KTB.
What's a flight cost from the woods?
That's a good question.
Brother.
Do they even have an airport?
Brother, KTB hits you with the trans as soon as he arrives.
Yeah.
As soon as he arrives. That's far from the woods.
Is it?
Yeah.
the audience.
I don't know what his mode
far
of
is this?
transportation is, but I think he
some
takes.
sort of giant boar, perhaps. Or
I think he takes a train in. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, 'cause trains go through the woods.
Right.
They
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
yeah. He just comes through the woods and just hops on the train.
I think he gets on the Amtrak.
Hot air balloon like up.
No.
Through the woods?
Okay, what are you doing?
Does he? I've never seen
Duke up.
I've never seen KTB. When he comes in with his luggage, does he have like the old like sack on a stick? You know what I mean?
I don't know. That one time he was.
the hobo stick.
That one time he was like, "Hey, I forgot my boots there." Like, I was like, "Oh, that's the last show at Mount Carmel, man. I think they're done. I think your boots are gone, pal."
We left him in the middle of the building.
Right. One last ride.
Yeah, so it's going to be KTB versus Flip Kendrick, and this is another one to where on paper people might not think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, very contrasting styles.
But I think that's why it makes the most sense.
Definitely.
I think there is a lot of dynamic things that are possible with this matchup here, and it is probably the one match that I knew 100% that I was doing in the first round no matter what.
Hell yeah.
this was the only one that I had known. Okay, I'm doing this one no matter what, round one. Because I think both of those guys are capable of having extremely great performances, and I think they will work very well together. I could be completely wrong, but
Flip Kendrick, the wily veteran, high flyer, going to have to use a lot of that speed and athleticism to keep away from KTB.
And KTB has had some really great matchups against smaller, high-flying guys. Somebody that we'll get to in a minute, but KTB Marco Stunt is probably arguably one of the the most memorable matchups of 2018, and I think there is a lot of possibilities for KTB versus Flip Kendrick.
So you mentioned Marco Stunt. Let's go to that next. Round one, it's Marco Stunt and Tim Donst. What is it you call Donst?
Donnie.
The Roman Reigns of AIW.
The Roman Reigns of AIW.
Can I ask why?
He's a polarizing figure.
You know why? Half the crowd hates him, half the crowd loves him.
A different way with that.
No.
Well, I guess you could make other.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
I guess.
All right.
You
I wasn't
could
sure.
say
I
that.
wasn't here for that, so I don't know how. Sometimes
you
when the mics aren't on, that's how it gets.
I guess
he's not quite John Cena. Like Gargano was John Cena, but I'd give Donst the Roman Reigns level. Like some people love him, some people absolutely just hate his guts.
They love to hate him. Yeah.
And a lot of that goes into me thinking of this matchup of Marco Stunt and Tim Donst because I think a lot of people have been wanting Marco Stunt, are looking forward to Marco Stunt, and might as well put him in there with one of the most polarizing figures in all of AIW and Tim Donst.
Donst gets a little territorial when people come into AIW.
Has Donst been in every tournament?
I think so. I think him and Lyndon might have been in all of them.
Wow.
Colin Delaney was in all of them up until this year, but I think him and Lyndon have been in all of them. I'd have to fact check that, or somebody can fact check it for me. Wadsworth, I know you're listening.
I'm sure, tweeting.
Hey.
But
currently, as we say that.
Stealing pizza off somebody's plate.
Oh.
doesn't steal, it's part of his contract. It's in his rider.
Is it?
He is the president.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is.
But so this was one that again there were so many different possibilities for all of these guys in this tournament, and I just came back to this one and I thought crowd reaction wise, I think this one could have the hottest the hottest crowd. Just Marco is pretty red hot, throughout the industry. Just appeared on the AEW show. Tim Donst is a guy that is always kind of like teetering and protective of his status and his spot in AIW. So I think this one could be very interesting.
Definitely.
Very interesting. A great description to go into the next match that I bring up. Matthew Justice and Danhausen.
Wow.
Yeah,
This might be one of the ones that I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah, it's something. Another one that just kind of stood out to me. And then when I saw the finished match graphic, and I was like, yeah, like this is it. Like this.
It's impressing himself.
A lot of darkness in this match.
Well, it's like one thing when you write it down on paper, or for me, I type it out on my iPhone notepad or whatever, and it's like, yeah, that looks cool, or that could be cool, or Danhausen is a guy that's really kind of been on the rise and coming into his own in the last 6 months, and Justice has just been red hot. But I looked at when I got the graphic, I was like, yeah, like this really stands out to me. Like I don't know why. Like I think
it's just that damn goofy look he's got on his face all the time.
Danhausen?
Yeah, that creepy ass smile that he's got, and it's just every graphic he's in.
Unnerving.
God damn, what's wrong with that?
You don't
dude?
know whether to feel nervous or smile back at it.
Yeah.
unnerving.
Definitely.
This to me has the potential, like you said, a lot of people are starting to find out about Danhausen, but because of how red hot Justice is coming into this has the potential to help put Danhausen out there to so many more people who are only just kind of starting to find out about it or haven't even yet?
I think they both have a lot to prove. Even though Justice is red hot in AIW, he wants to be red hot
everywhere
throughout the whole industry. So,
sure.
I think that they both kind of have a lot to prove as far as delivering to people's expectations.
I don't know that I have a clear-cut favorite on who could win this match, because you could see Danhausen picking up an upset, especially with members of the production possibly being in his corner. Could you have a draw in the JLIT? Is that a possible thing?
You can.
But
would you have one? Could that be a feasible thing in round one, or do we?
You
got to go to a finish.
A double count out, or whatever else. I don't know if you have a draw.
If there were ever to be one, this would be on my list.
You're going draw on this one, huh?
Yeah, going 20-minute time limit.
That's your pick. That's your pick'ems.
I don't know who to pick, I guess is my point.
And honestly, when I was putting this together, I wanted a lot of it could go either way, sort of thing.
Yep.
And this is another one.
So the next match I want to talk about is we talk about a guy who doesn't understand the word size and what it means. Swoggle taking on Pat Buck, and he just continues to pick the biggest of dogs in the fights.
Hey,
so Pat Buck is one that I think a lot of people were kind of like, oh, that's a weird pick for the JLIT.
Yeah.
Pat Buck is he's a guy that has a lot of people in his corner saying, like, give this guy a shot. Pat Buck had reached out to me months ago, just wanting an opportunity. Pat Buck is a longtime veteran. For him to kind of be humble enough to like ask for an opportunity, that kind of stood out a little bit. Pat Buck is very good friends with Colt Cabana, very good friends with Kurt Hawkins, very good friends with a lot of people that I'm good friends with. Pat Buck then all of a sudden decides he's going to run a show in Alaska. And I was like, man, I would just love to just hear about that one day. And, we start talking, and we're talking about this Alaska thing. And I was like, you know what? Like, I have like all these open spots in this tournament still. I was like, fuck it. I'll give Pat Buck one. That's a weird one.
You just want to go to Alaska next time.
I would like to go to Alaska, but I don't think I would go with him. But
here it's beautiful.
And also,
it's awesome. I've been out there once.
And also, Nick. This is like Nick Stanka's favorite wrestler.
Oh yeah,
Pat Buck.
Yep,
Really?
That's his guy. That's his guy.
Wow.
Pat Buck.
Yep.
He Pat Buck was like came by our table at WrestleCon. Nick Stanka was a little starstruck.
Wow.
Because
You don't see that every day.
He used to listen to the Ryback podcast when Pat Buck was the co-host.
Oh.
And he thought Pat Buck was the best part of that show.
Oh, don't tell Ryback that. It'll be 800 tweets about how much he hates that.
I've been thinking about bringing in the Ryback.
Ooh.
You know what? That was another name that we tossed out for this.
Yeah.
Damn.
As we talk about all the names that went through.
Ryback.
But yeah, so this honestly how this match came together, I said, Dylan, give me your top three. And Pat Buck was his number one. And I said, okay, done.
Wasn't Amazing Red on that list?
No, I said that.
No, in the tournament.
I said in the.
Oh, sorry.
I said
pull back the curtain, Wes Barkley.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, Amazing
We'll cut
Red's
that.
Amazing Red's in his on his top three of all time. But I said in the tournament, give me your top three.
Oh, right.
Pat Buck it was.
There it is.
That was his number one guy. So I said, okay, you got it.
You just
Nobody else gets that kind of stroke, but the best-selling author Swoggle, he gets his pick of the litter.
Best-selling Amazon pre-sale author Swoggle.
I didn't want to qualify it too much. I don't want to hurt his feelings.
Do you foresee this being like Scott Steiner Swoggle in terms of just brutality that he endures?
Scotty.
Well, Pat
Gotta get my shout out.
Buck has been kind of doing this thing where he's the buzz killer, and he's wrestling people with more buzz than him because he feels he should have buzz. And his whole thing is he's kind of been going out, and he's been traveling the indies and wrestling all these buzzworthy guys, and I think it kind of plays right into that, even though was what Swoggle requested. I think he may want a little bit of Swoggle's buzz.
Be careful what
It's a
you wish
lot
for.
of uses of the word buzz in the last minute and a half.
Do you remember that show on MTV, Buzz TV?
I
I do.
What I was thinking, yeah.
Hey.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Be careful what you wish for, Swoggle.
Ooh.
So, next one we roll into here, let's talk Colt Boom Boom Cabana making
Hey.
his way back. I feel like we haven't seen him in some time. Has it been,
Summer Party
Jersey.
Massacre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Downtown New York.
He's
Running and gunning.
He's a busy guy.
he is.
Yep.
And he's taken on a guy who has just taken the ball and ran with it since getting his opportunity here in AIW, and that's Lee Moriarty.
Yeah, this is one that really stood out to me as far as Lee Moriarty is probably pretty unknown still to this point. I know he did the Chikara Young Lions Cup this year, and he's been, he's done a few AIW shows at this point. But he is very technically proficient and very, very sound in the ring. That said, a lot of people forget that Colt Cabana is probably one of the most technically proficient wrestlers out there.
For sure.
He just doesn't do it all the time. But Colt usually brings his A game when he's in the JLIT tournament, and that thought was really in the back of my head as to, I think this would be a good matchup of veteran versus. I know Lee Moriarty's not a rookie per se, but a very young up and coming talent, and I think this could be a good learning experience for Lee, and it could be a learning experience for Colt at the same time. This young dog may have a few new tricks.
Colt's an old man. He's not getting any younger. I don't know.
He's
Technical
not.
showdown.
Yeah, that's what that's what I'm looking for. Obviously, you don't know how the match is going to unfold until the match happens, but I think these guys could really have a Matt classic, no
Nice.
pun intended.
Nice.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Wow. See, I'm not the only corny one on this podcast.
Okay, mine was a little better though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Even though it was bad, it was still a little better.
I'm sorry. Were you trying to one-up me?
Ooh.
Someone's got to do it.
So, but I think that this, to your point there, this is an opportunity for both guys to kind of rise to the occasion and rise to the other's level in a different way.
Right.
For Lee, towards just the experience of Colt, and for Colt, the abilities that Lee Moriarty has. So.
Right. I mean, it's like any sport. There's always someone younger and faster.
Yeah. But will you be Tom Brady and beat those people and just keep on?
Now you've totally lost me on the sports reference. I was going very vague.
Sorry.
Sports.
You got lost on Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Probably the one of the most recognizable athletes on the planet right now.
I know
that
I know,
lost you.
I know Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, there you go.
1996 New England Patriots. Yeah.
Nice.
So the next match, Duke, you actually have a vested interest in here.
Ooh.
Dr. Dan
Ooh.
versus Mance Warner.
I'll let Duke break this one down.
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, Mance is he's on fire right now. I mean, everywhere he goes, he's well received. He's got a lot of opportunities lately in our company. No thanks to me, of course. I'm the one pulling the strings, so I get him the matches that he wants, and he goes out and he delivers.
Interesting.
The whole Dr. Dan thing, I ain't buying it.
Dr. Dan.
I'm gonna need this. First of all, I'm gonna need to see a receipt from Yale. Number one, because I don't even think he didn't even knows where Yale is.
He went to Yale.
Dr. Dan riding high, spoiler alert here, coming off of a successful main event of the Goldhorn Brewery show.
Yeah, it was successful. That's very true.
He's coming in with the momentum, man.
Yeah.
Mance is coming off a loss.
He's not. They can't build up any momentum on that hoverboard he's got, and he's got that weird program. He's
Rule number one?
He takes guys under his wing, and all they do is fly in circles because it's just one wing, and it never gets anywhere. I get Manson here. I'm getting him title shots. I'm getting him dream matches. I'm getting him all this other stuff.
Yeah, Dr. Dan,
Dr.
dream
Dan's
match.
a dream match for him.
There it
Dr.
is.
Dan is not. That's a nightmare of a match for anyone. That is not a dream match. Come on.
Dr. Dan has made a habit of getting beat down by legends. Are you going to be the next that beats him down?
Ooh, legend. Shout out, dude.
If he gets out of the ring, if he stays in the ring, he'll be fine. he gets out of the ring, we're probably going to be a problem.
I don't know, man. You better hope you don't have a steel chair. You've been taking some fucking ringers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, let me ask you about that.
No, we'll get to that another day.
Okay,
But I mean,
that's,
Dr.
all right,
Dan,
that's fair.
I'll be happy to send Dr. Dan back to Yale as a cadaver for their medical school.
Wow.
If he wants to get in my face while I'm trying to manage my boy.
Wow.
All right.
That's-
Well, now that the Duke is done cutting his wrestling promo,
Nice.
Better hair.
I'm gonna give
Duke
you-
or Dr. Dan.
I'm going to give you. Dr. Dan is a hairpiece. The Duke's going all natural.
All right, fair enough.
I've been this bald for 20 years, man. I've gotten used to it. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna give my philosophy on this matchup. I always tell Mance Warner he's a sheep herder. I just want to make into a bushwhacker, and sometimes
The sheep herder comes out.
the sheep herder comes out a little too much. So my hope here is we show a little bit of the entertaining, fun-loving side of old Mance Warner, but
That's up to Dr. Dan. That's how he wants to play it.
Dr. Dan might bring
Rule
that
number one.
He might bring that sheep herder out, and all bets are off.
He starts with those pamphlets and the stupid 3 letters.
ECR.
Mance is going to see red, and then Dan's going to be red.
Yeah, he better put some extra glue on the toupee on Friday night.
Sucker might get knocked right off, huh? Wow. So,
Damn.
I'm trying to think what else we have. Now this one, sometimes in these, we get fun rematches of matchups we enjoyed previously in the year or the year before. And that would be one of these ones. Eddie Kingston taking on one of the youngsters in AIW, Zach Thomas. Yeah, and those guys put on a great... One of your, I believe, on a show that we recapped, you said one of your 2.5 matches from that night on
And,
a card of 10 matches.
And I'm gonna give you my God's honest reasoning for this match, and it is the fact that match was very good on a show that wasn't very good. And I want to give Zach the opportunity to possibly have another very good match on a show that should be a very good show, and see if it could stand out again, as well as this being broadcast on Fight TV. This could be a big opportunity for people to learn who Zach Thomas is, who probably a lot of them watching don't know who Zach Thomas is. So that's really the thought process behind that. Is it was a good match on a show that I don't think that many people sought out.
Right.
So let's give those guys the opportunity to showcase that match yet again on maybe a more viewed stage.
Fair enough there. The next one we roll into...
Slobber knocker alert. We're going to just give that one a slobber knocker alert. Just
Okay,
let that be
official
known.
rating, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, there'll be some fists flying in that. That's no doubt about it.
Back fist flying. See what I did there?
Yeah.
What's the next match?
Maserati West, I'm going to let
Yes,
you
sir.
tag this one.
Okay, thanks.
We get a matchup of former running mates, Joshua
Wow.
Bishop and Trey Lamar.
Nice. Well, speaking of them being running mates, do you remember what happened last year about this time at Menor on the Lake, Ohio?
No?
You don't remember?
What happened?
Trey Lamar was pinned by yours truly, Maserati Wes Barkley.
that right?
And I
Wow.
think that's when Josh Bishop knew, I got to get out of no consequences. I'm over these scrubs. You heard me say it.
Got to get on the Wes
Scrubs.
Barkley train.
We were, we had the seeds planted, but the faction lines were drawn, and I was with my guys TKD, Zach Thomas, and Ryder Reed, and we had to take on no consequences. We did it live at Menor on the Lake, Ohio. That's a different story for a different day, but I don't see the outcome being any different. Josh Bishop, easy win over Trey Lamar, 40 acres. Bring all your guys. Bring PV Smooth. It doesn't matter because I'm going to be ringside, and like Duke said, you go outside the ring, there's some shenanigans to
There
pay.
will be trouble.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens when because we're the only ones with certified managers licensed in AIW, I think, right?
I know. I got one.
Yeah, I got one too. So I think we're the only two.
What's that?
So-
Is it because you guys have the most money? What's that run?
Oh,
What's that run you?
we didn't have to talk
You
about
got to
that.
ask, Steve.
Yeah,
Guy.
come on.
You know the rules.
Yeah,
know.
I guess that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it should be a solid matchup. I mean, what was the saying earlier?
There will be consequences.
Yes, sir. But yeah, my guy Joshua Bishop, he's on fire. I don't even have to say that.
Trey Lamar's on fire though with his new group.
40 Acres.
So
Yeah.
I think they took a shot at me at the Goldhorn Brewery,
You think that?
but I was already celebrating. after
Are
the
we
win.
expecting full Sid at this point, or are we still going partly Sid?
It's all how he's feeling that day. You know how sometimes Bishop just wakes up and he's in a mood.
I saw no joke. I saw Joshua Bishop's mom today.
Really?
She said that Josh Bishop hasn't been home in 2 months.
Wow.
So I think he's just been living on the road.
He's sleeping.
Yeah.
He's living on the
He's
road.
in the woods with KTP.
I was just about to say, running and gunning though.
She
but-
came to my work. She was asking where he's been.
No way.
He's going feral.
you guys partying in the penthouse too much or what?
No comment, allegedly. But yeah, this Friday, Joshua Bishop picking up that win. Ain't nothing new. The intense champion, the intense icon, Joshua
right back
Bishop.
to he's gonna be feeling at home in a place where he started really.
The Odeon,
good name for
the
himself.
Odeon is the official home of the Rip City Shooters after the last show.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
a fact. We won there, fair and square.
Yeah, we'll get to
I-
that.
no
on the
shenanigans.
show.
I think that there's a lot of, Trey's got 2 guys in his corner.
Well, one guy's wrestling against Nick Gage. He's wrestling Nick Gage.
AJ does have Nick Gage.
You better hope that you better hope you get the luck of the draw. And,
I know
you
PB's
go on
weakness
after.
too. I know PB's weakness. I already beat Trey. I wrestled AJ. I know him like the back of my hand.
Yeah, I mean PB's
Kinda.
he's got that size on you.
Yeah, but I know his weakness.
What is his weakness?
Well, if I say it now, but how
Okay.
about this? Arn Anderson told me, he said, Wes, you always going with the plan. I said, yeah, Arn, of course. So maybe I'll
This is
tell
when
the
you guys
plan.
were having breakfast.
We were driving around eating.
Yeah.
Having a little something. He told me to wear white contacts too. Different story, different day. But PB Smooth, we know he's got the bad knees. So maybe I'll
He's pretty
target
tall.
those.
That's quite a strain.
But he's got bad knees. And Maserati West is 2 steps ahead. You saw at the Goldhorn Brewery, the chairman of AIW was in full effect, Jack.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a sale.
I thought
right
I was
there.
the chairman.
I'm the chairman of the board.
Maybe you're gonna borrow an axe from KTB so you can chop a tree down.
That'd be the Axeman.
Be the axe man.
You see what I did there? The
You're
chairman, brother.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
JB.
We didn't like the other chairman in AIW.
Oh, right.
I mean those are
showed
your
up,
those are your matchups
Pesos.
for round 1.
Are we missing any?
No, we
We hit him with the
We
12-piece
hit him,
combo?
12.
We hit him with the
you,
12-piece combo?
And
Yeah.
we got the Chandler Big and Tag Team tournament as well.
Ooh. So we
Starting
got to
at-
get into this?
Starting at 3. Yeah, I mean we can run it down real quick.
we could run it down. So one of the things we'd like to do is bring
Hold on, I kind of got walked over. Starting at what time on Saturday?
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Yeah, there you
3 p.m.
go. 3
live
p.m.
at the
Also,
Odeon.
again, at the Odeon, yes.
Yep.
So 3 p.m.
It's still standing.
Right. I know. I was going to say, how are we?
Yeah. Yeah. So once again, if the Odeon's not burned down from the matches there on Friday night, 3 p.m.
Wrecking Ball. The Rip City
Saturday
Wrecking Balls
during
are going.
the day, and then that'll lead us into JLIT Night 2. Again, you can purchase tickets for the entire weekend, a full package, or you can go to single shows. So if you wanted to just attend that, now it's 3 p.m.
Please, we have roughly 20 front row weekend passes available.
I don't at the time of the
Get
of
on
this
those.
recording, and I don't know how. If you're listening to this and you just heard that rundown, and you haven't bought tickets,
Right.
and you're going to be in the area, or you've got nothing to do and you're within driving distance, we gave you a hotel spot that is reasonably priced, and there are plenty of other ones.
Right.
Listen, if you're not big into commodities, there are plenty of hotels that are even more inexpensive within the area that you can check out. So
Amenities, I believe you're going for. Not commodities. Amenities?
Amenities?
Hotels with amenities. Yeah.
Yes,
I
nice.
mean,
Commodities.
I'm an
This is
HIE
true.
guy myself, so I find one of those, I'll stay there.
Because you went to prom there, right?
No, went to a wedding there, and they treated me right.
Holiday Inn Express.
Duke will only stay at Holiday Inn Expresses exclusively.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really? All
Yeah,
that money?
nice.
I think you'd be more of like a Marriott guy.
Well, when I go to San Diego, I
Hilton.
up it, but just in general, because they got a good breakfast, they treat me well.
Okay.
When are we in Vegas?
I'm going in August.
So you're not.
I'll try to make it
you're
work.
not necessarily thrifty, but you do spend wisely. You gotta.
I spend my money where people treat me nice.
Nice. I like
HIE
that.
treats me nice.
I like that.
Go. All right, that's good. That's a good school
Shout
of
out
thought.
to HIE if they're listening.
Good school of thought right there.
Yeah.
I like that. Batmobile rolls up to HIE. It's good to go.
Omaha Steaks.
All right. So let's talk about the big fun grab for the Chandler.
Before we get last FAQ that I can think of for the JLIT weekend.
Yes.
Round 1, singles matches.
Oh, good
Round
call.
2, 4-way, 1 fall to a finish. Fatal 4-way, if you will.
Yep.
I will.
Round 3, triple threat elimination.
Whoo! Yeah.
Just to clarify it for everybody.
Yep.
We
It's
made
been
this
that way for a few years.
we made that format
Yeah.
change a few years ago, but for those that possibly don't know.
And are we still doing the bracket?
Yes, and we'll have brackets
Pedro
available.
will be rolling that, so make sure you see him as you roll into the Odeon.
Nice.
If you want one of those. I mean, let people get in first and get the situation, then Pedro will handle that there.
Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag
I
Team
was just going
Tournament.
to say,
rock.
speaking on that,
Let's rock. You guys started off. You know I could talk for days about this.
First round, traditional tag team match.
yep.
All 4 of those winners go into a 4-way eliminator final.
Whew.
Um,
Spiciness.
all
Is that a word? Spiciness?
Spicy.
It is now.
Taco Bell hottest sauce.
Spicy.
Yep. 4-way elimination.
Fire sauce. You
Fire.
put fire sauce on this match.
I feel
That's
like
that's
3
some,
packets.
that's some old school.
Maybe 4 packets.
That's some old school me, Biggins, Drew Cordero talk.
Hell yeah.
You're getting spicy
Hell yeah.
Biggins is always getting spicy.
when you're
Hell yeah.
when you're
Only right.
when you're embezzling your story a little bit. It's getting a little spicy.
The word
Hey.
you're looking for is embellish, not embezzle.
Embellish.
Embezzle is what I do.
I didn't know if you were getting into extracurriculars.
embezzle?
No.
Whoa.
Did I say that out loud?
I was going to say no comment on this side.
Now you were saying the good get for the Chandler Biggins.
I had that coming to me because I made fun of Steve about the hotel commodities. So.
Okay.
Hey,
I'm assuming you're talking about Rip City Shooters.
hey, thank you.
Well, I was going
Nice.
to build to that because he was so antsy over here. I kind of
I'm not
wanted
antsy. I'm just
he's got this
confident.
anxiety and this energy about it. I wanted
The
to
Spirit Squad.
continue
We're
to
the
build.
Spirit
The
Squad.
Spirit Squad is what we're talking about.
Oh, and I thought for sure you're talking about Rip
we
City.
got
Nikki.
the Spirit Squad.
And this
We did not get Nikki.
there were a he might be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in
never
an
know.
This is dad was at the last
There's
one.
a random luchador behind
never
the
know.
barricade. You never know.
not in an official
For
capacity.
sure.
Yeah, his brother's in town, so he might be. But
Is he still hot and young? Hot young Bradley's in
yeah, he's
town?
making a movie. Heel. Go
Heel.
check him out on Seed Spark. They're funding right now.
Yeah, give them some funding.
Seed Spark?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
he's making a movie.
All right.
We'll talk about
Remember
it.
we talked
another
about
day.
spending my money wisely? I'm going to not go to speed.
He's already raised like quite a bit of
Yeah,
money,
he's raised quite a bit.
like 15 G's.
The other day, ate raw eggs and then did burpees.
Whoa.
He's doing all sorts of crazy
Oh,
things.
to raise money?
Yeah. Doing all
Oh,
sorts
that's
of
Whatever
crazy
happened to
things.
just asking people?
It's like a telethon.
Yeah, he's doing like a whole
I like the
thing.
telethon. Damn.
We come over and paint my condo? I'll give him money for that.
He might.
He
He's
might.
in town.
He might.
All right.
Yeah.
But so we have quite a few like really established AIW tag teams, and my thought process is I wanted to try to get maybe one outside draw, just only going to appear on the day show, and I'm just going to make that clear right now. The Spirit Squad is only appearing on the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament show. They won't be there at night, so I know a lot of people have inquired about meeting them. You have to come to the day show to do that. But we reached out to a bunch of different tag teams and like outside stuff, and just things weren't working, things weren't lining up, and I swear like it was a coincidence, but I was like, man, maybe the Spirit Squad. And literally I got a text from Mikey from the Spirit Squad.
Wow.
Wow, that's some next level shit right there.
I guess him and Matthew Justice are buddies from I don't know what.
So he's trying to come at Rip City. Justice is recruiting people.
Look who it is.
Justice is recruiting an army against Rip City. Okay.
TV right now.
Glad I caught that.
Sighting on Velocity.
So
Glad I picked that up. JB, we got this. All right.
So so it just worked out that he happened to text me, and we worked out a deal, and the Spirit Squad will be participating in the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament.
It is.
Did Justice tell him to like?
Yeah,
was that
I guess-
how
I
the
get-
conversation started.
I guess,
with
like-
Justice was, hey, can we get in, or were they just talking?
They were talking, and then like he said, we were looking for a tag team. And I had been reaching out to other people, and like he just gave him my phone number, and I went, oh, you know what? The
easy.
search is over.
Yeah.
So we have Mikey and Kenny from the Spirit Squad.
Ken Doan, man,
Spirit
he is looking
Squad.
jacked
I was
as
about to
fuck
say.
too.
Yeah.
He appeared on Beyond Wrestling a couple weeks ago. He is looking jacked. He's ready for a run.
Kid Cash
Hell yeah.
jacked.
kid, shredded, dude, like shredded.
Nice.
Yeah, and they will be taking on. They had to be tag team champions to infinity and beyond.
Wow.
Round 1.
Let's get to it. You're sitting here.
I'm
Rip
here.
City,
Yep.
Joshua Bishop.
Yep. Intense
West
champion,
Barkley.
the intense icon, Joshua Bishop, Maserati West, Wasabi Jones, whatever you want to call me. Yep, the Rip City Shooters.
Do you know who you drew yet? Do you want to know right now?
Yeah,
No, can I draw? No, I got to draw. Can I draw it? There's the
wait,
draw. There it is.
Hold on.
Let me get the.
So
can I get the
Swoggle,
token?
Wes Barkley does have the Swoggle stroke where you ask him who he wants to face.
I wanted to be. Yeah, I mean, I thought we were gonna have a bye till the finals. Come on.
it
This
is.
Rip
We're gonna
City.
win one match.
Yeah, well,
It is.
Hey, gotta
Rip
watch out for my
City.
guy JB. Hold on, let me pull it out. Can I get that? All right.
This is
Can you read it? Can you read
It's
it?
official right here.
Will you read it?
It's gonna be announced by the time this airs.
Rip City,
Yep.
the boys from Jollyville,
Ooh.
Nasty Russ,
Fuck it.
and T Money.
I mean, that's the only right answer, right?
Interesting.
Jeez. Wow, this is going to be a hard hitting matchup for sure. Wow, me and Josh Bishop, let's rock.
You ready to get pounced?
Pounce all the way to the bank, maybe. I don't know. Come on.
How
That's the Rip City Shooters you're
how
talking
close?
about.
How close are the boys from Rip City? Now, if you see that pounce coming, would you shove Joshua Bishop out of the way and take the bullet for him?
Oh, that's
Would
a
he
good
do the same
story.
for you?
That's a good
You
question.
better.
That's
You
a good
better.
question.
Would he do the same
You're
thing?
not
Yeah.
the intense.
Well, you know.
I would take the bullet for my guys. You better.
Oh, yeah.
You better.
And
Well,
you
yeah,
have?
I mean, I think
I have.
I think we're both as managers and having our manager license. I think we both see the big picture,
Absolutely.
and that his wins were definitely getting a dividend. Whatever. We don't have to
Get a cut of that
say
shit.
it.
You
But
gotta
when he
think
won the
big
intense championship, my fingers were getting little paper cuts from all the C notes we were counting that night. So that's all
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah?
say. I see the big picture, but Jollyville, we're ready. We're ready
It's
for
like
you guys.
This is like a weird Carmen San Diego geography battle.
It is.
Boys
Rip
from
City,
Jollyville
yeah.
and the Rip City Shooters.
Yeah, I've driven
Yeah.
by Jollyville, and we've seen it. We've seen it. We know Nasty Russ. We know T Money. We know the Pounce. But hey,
But
we
the
know the Cannonball.
Cannonball?
Yeah, we know the Cannonball.
Yeah, Joshua Bishop
He-
definitely no stranger to the Cannonball, I believe.
Yeah, they had their little thing. So, yeah, this isn't new for the Rip City Shooters. We're set. We're fine. We're ready to rock.
Oh.
Saturday, 3 p.m. Fight TV if you can't be there, because the Rip City Takeover Tour is coming to your city. Either get out of the way or get ran over. And if you got the cojones, come to the Odeon at 3. Come to the Odeon at 7 either night. I don't care. But if you don't have the cojones, you can buy it on Fight TV and watch from your living room. I don't care, Jack.
They're not ready. They're not ready for the Rip City Shooters.
This is it's certainly going to be intriguing. This is if you guys have wanted the opportunity to prove yourselves as a tag team.
Yeah,
I got to prove myself
Let
because
let
I guess
alone win this tournament.
I guess my last year of accomplishments are just swept under the rug. Like me and Duke, me and Dom, me and Tim Donts, me and Justice, me and Kingston. People are forgetting. They think I'm just a manager. But I guess Saturday at 3 p.m. I'm gonna have to show all these haters what's going on. Because I wrestled to put food on the table. And I'm having those surf and turf dinners still, Jack. Don't forget that, all right?
What could you say about his talents as a wrestler, Duke? He did.
He did, yeah.
I don't want to say anything. We're on a good page.
No,
right now. We're
that's
both
fine. Yeah,
bank
it's fine.
accounts,
He beat me.
commas, we're
He
talking.
beat me. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, he was there. He had his Barkley Nation behind him, and
Right.
it was me against 75 people, and he beat me. So
I appreciate that.
Kudos to him.
Thank
He
you.
snuck one out on me.
Appreciate
Rolled me
it.
up. What can I
Yep.
say?
We'll see if they like to get out on Saturday afternoon or not.
Let's rock. Barkley Nation.
Bar's open.
Yes. Something tells me they don't mind being day drinkers.
Rip City Takeover. The Midday Express, the Rip City Shooters. I like that. I think that's what we're going to be called that day.
The Midday Express.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow. Okay.
Mr. Saturday.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
Afternoon.
like we've said
The
about
early bird special.
Yes, sir.
all of these tournaments, sometimes you pit people against each other that they wouldn't necessarily want to be. We talked about Colin and Cheech, but in the tag tournament, we got PME versus the Weird World.
Wow.
Last year's winners.
Last year's winners, the
Luck
Weird
of,
World.
luck of the draw.
Trying to get to the repeat. And look, when they cashed in, they won the titles.
Let's
Wow.
The fact that they even won last year is an embarrassment, and it's shenanigans personified.
So they know
But-
they know what can come of winning this tournament. And they're
They go back to back. I'm quitting.
taking on their buddies.
Wow.
They could go back to back.
I'm quitting.
I don't know.
Worldwide said he's been living a sober existence these last.
He's got a
2 weeks.
long way to go to get sober.
His last 2 weeks. I think he's training.
Training
He's
hard.
not.
I've seen
He's
him.
not getting
Yeah.
his chip for a long time.
I think he's training.
PME, I think it's fair to say probably the crowd favorite going into this.
I mean, I think it's a solid tournament. So I think it's really, I think people like PME, but I think
That's what I mean. In terms of a rooting interest, though.
people like the Weird World too.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's starting not to get behind PME. Like I always say, they got those matching sweatsuits they come out in, straight from the '80s with their Phil Collins music and
Love it.
and their dance moves and everything. It's just it's hard. It's hard not to like them. I don't want to, but I do, and it drives me crazy.
I will say that Weird World, at least keep their heads ringing. They kind of, I think they kind of found their new wheelhouse, which is basically being New Jack. So it depends on
Well,
what
they found that wheelhouse 2 years ago,
Well, I
or
wasn't
whatever,
there.
or last year, whenever that was.
I wasn't there for that,
Ain't
but
nothing but a gangster party.
I think it. I
was there.
I think it really depends.
I was
on,
there.
It depends on what Weird World shows up.
Right.
Depends on.
Good point.
Well, do you think they're?
It depends on like last year Worldwide was partying until the sun came up, and he goes on to win the whole thing. If he goes to sleep early, is that the
he was
is that
riding
his
a high.
downfall?
Well, it was the same weekend as his bar hot tub party, right? And he was
Yes.
floating in filth for 6 hours. Yeah.
Maybe that was a secret.
But I mean, is their newfound New Jackness a result of Worldwide's non-sobriety? And as he gets sober, is he going to realize, I'm doing what now?
Right,
I'm not going to
maybe.
do that.
Maybe there's a lot of factors going in this one. A lot of head games being played.
Yep. Rip
are.
City, we know all about those games. We'll see either of those haters in the next round.
Who would you want to take in the
Either,
next
doesn't
round?
matter. I beat both them.
Yeah?
Yeah, we already beat them both.
All right. I like the confidence. I like the confidence.
We'll see you, pals. We'll be in touch.
And then from there, the final first round matchup, we have the Young Studs taking on the production. And this will be Derek Director and Eddie Only, I believe, from the
Yes.
production, right?
Yeah,
So Danhausen likely to be in their corner. Always got to keep an eye out for him. It's hard not to miss him.
Danhausen might die from his fall off the roof of the Odeon.
Well,
I don't know. You
yeah.
never know.
Danhausen might be
Suppose that's
cruising.
true.
He might be focused on cruising to the next round, though.
He might be.
Sure.
Maybe they're always there to support each other, it seems. So they are there, and the Young Studs, and this is going to be
Probably a pretty violent
hard
one.
hitting. Yeah.
This one's going to be wild.
And not only are we going to have the tournament matches, there's also going to be additional unadvertised matches happening throughout this, to break up the tournament brackets. I know Filthy Tom Lawler will be defending the absolute title on this event. That's
There
all
it is.
That's all I can say.
People have been asking, where's Filthy Tom?
That's all I can say.
He
Which will
will
be
be there 3 p.m.
2 years
Fight
in a
TV,
row
Jack.
that we've had the absolute title defended at the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team
Yeah, old
Tournament.
Dr. Deef came up short last year.
Yeah, Dr. Dan kind of got his ass beat by Nick Gage, the absolute champion at the time last year.
And then Nick Gage went to the
Didn't
hospital.
learn anything out of it.
And
though.
then Nick Gage had to go to the hospital, but thought, you know what? I'm going to kick the shit out of Dr. Dan first.
Right.
That's how much people hate Dr. Dan.
Wow.
Actually, he didn't go to the hospital. Remember, he just went back to the hotel. And
He sat
that's
down
right.
downstairs and practically passed out.
We got the
And
pic-
we sent him to the hospital, and then to find out he just went back to the hotel.
Yeah.
That's MDK certified, man. He doesn't play by any
Apparently, they had a
rules.
better
But alas.
they had a better cure for staff at the Howard Johnsons.
And then, so there's going to be multiple additional matches placed onto this event, as well as then JLIT Night 2. We have the 3 4-ways and then the 1 3-way. So there's going to be lots of additional unannounced things happening on JLIT Night 2 as well.
So what you're saying is you don't want to miss this.
You don't want to miss it.
You
I
don't.
thought people would know that.
Who
by
knows?
now.
Who knows? Unannounced could be anything. That's hence the term unannounced.
Correct.
Sure,
You
and
don't want to miss out.
Could
on it.
have some
Maybe Steve Guy's going to get in the ring.
Could have some
finally,
special
and
guests.
Get his ass beat.
Could have
Who
some-
knows?
Could have some
Actually-
special guests that are unadvertised.
Yeah.
Duke, to let you know, I will be getting into the ring.
To get your ass beat.
To ring announce.
No, not to get to ring announce. Exactly.
Yeah, but we could have some unannounced
Every match.
special guests coming in for the weekend. You never know.
I'm ready.
Never know.
Never know.
I'll
who
be
we
there.
might have.
I'm ready, man.
Live Fight TV, live at the Odeon. I already gave you the rundown.
Give it to him again, Wes.
I told you the
Do
Rip
it.
City Takeover Tour, 2-day, 3-show experience.
The Rip City takeover, the midday express takeover.
We're gonna have a bunch of nicknames after that. Probably,
just
probably the double tournament winners too.
That's just Saturday afternoon.
I'll break it all down. Front row for the entire weekend is $90, and it gets you front row for all 3 shows.
Best seats in the
You
house.
cannot buy an a la carte front row ticket. You must buy the front row package. There are 20 of those left at the time of this recording. General admission weekend pass is $60. That gets you in to all 3 shows, starting in the second row back. JLIT night 1, a la carte individual night ticket, $25. Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament individual general admission ticket, $20. JLIT night 2 general admission ticket, $25.
There you go.
All available. The packages are obviously the best deals that you can get. You save some money. So I highly recommend those.
And if you are going to watch on Fight TV because you cannot fly or drive into Cleveland, Ohio in time to watch this with us live and in person, once again, $24.99 for the entire package all weekend. Or if you're going to do it a la carte, $12.99 for JLIT Night 1, $9.99 for the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament, and $12.99 for JLIT Night 2. So you might as well, as we said, you might as well spend the $24.99.
Yeah, because like I said, if you're a
and watch
fan,
all
you're
3.
gonna get them somewhere, and if you get unlimited replays,
You can watch them whenever
you'd
you'd
be
like.
stupid not to pay the $25 for all 3.
And please come out and support this weekend. This is the most expensive shows that we do all year outside of that WrestleMania weekend show. This is
So no penny pinching going on.
yeah,
here.
this is quite the task and the undertaking for us to put on. So please come out and support it this weekend. It is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's something for everyone. If you're a fan and you're huge into current independent wrestling and keeping track of the names of who's hot, you've got Nick Gage, Mance Warner, Marco Stunt, Eric Stevens. I mean, the list goes on and on. Eddie Kingston, Matthew Justice, and Joshua Bishop, your boy.
And me.
So it goes on and on. If you want something from the past and you want to relive a little bit of maybe what you grew up watching, we've got Kid Cash. We've got the
Savio
Spirit
Vega.
Squad. We've got Savio Vega.
Where are you going to see Savio Vega?
I noticed. If I may,
Puerto
I
Rico.
noticed,
I was going to say, who's buying a trip to Puerto Rico?
I noticed
anytime
you
soon?
ran down all those names, and I didn't hear you mention Dr. Dan once.
Ooh.
Dr. Dan will be there
Dr. Dan will be there
all weekend.
all weekend
He
long.
might be winning the whole fucking thing.
He'll only be there
could.
Friday.
He could win the whole thing.
He'll only be there Friday.
Will there be a riot at the Odeon in Cleveland, Ohio if Dr. Dan wins the entire thing? There's only one way to find out. You've got to either be there
Yep.
in person.
Dr. Dan wins the whole thing. I'm not walking outside because it's going to be fire and brimstone. It's going to be raining toads. I ain't going outside. I'm staying in the
It could be like it could be like the Cavs fucking parade out there.
Ooh,
No, God,
epic,
no.
epic.
It'll be like Left Behind. It'll be apocalyptic.
You never know. A guy like Marco Stunt can win in the first night in. First
Yeah.
weekend.
He could.
He could.
We're talking about Dr. Dan's possibilities. Marco Stunt, yeah, he could. We're talking about the ridiculously of Dr. Dan winning.
Dr. Dan could summon the powers of all those that he has motivated.
All 2 of them?
Ooh.
I mean, if you want to give him that
All
much
right,
credit.
before we wrap it up,
Yep.
let's get your picks. Let's get your picks. Pick'ems. Who do you got?
For overall complete winner?
Yeah, complete winner.
Mance Warner.
Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Cup.
Me.
As much as I hate to say it, PME.
Oh, that hurt.
Wow.
That hurt.
Hey man, I'm trying to make money here. It's nothing personal.
God, that hurt. Man, I think I as much as I hate saying it pains me, I might have to agree with the Duke. I might have to go Mance Warner here.
Two for Mance.
Mancer,
Does this count at all? Does this hold any weight?
Mancer is he's
He's on fire.
he is. He's been making a name for himself, and he's been so impressive. And it's like he's hitting another gear.
You guys
So-
are just walking right over Dr. Dan.
Well, as most
I'm
do.
gonna step over Dr. Dan's prone corpse.
I mean, to me, it comes down to one of two. Well, I would say one of 3 people. Really, I think if Eddie Kingston can continue on the trend that he has,
He won the gauntlet. He's on fire.
that's what I mean. So it could be.
Yeah, who
beat Nick Gage.
Who beat
could
him at
be
that show?
It
Mance
could
Warner.
be Eddie or I mean, Matt Justice just continues to impress, or Mance Warner. And I mean, I think it's just got to be Mance here right now. Now the tag tournament, again, everybody hates it, but there's a reason to Infinity and Beyond is in this, and those guys I think are out to protect the title shot that would be against them, and I don't think they want anybody to have it because they are those kind of guys. So
What?
I think
Two
I'm
bet
sorry.
against you.
I don't think we have to ask Wes Barkley what he thinks, because we all know what he thinks, right?
Who's winning the
Have you
JLIT?
seen the
Bishop,
lengths?
easily. We're going straight to Honolulu, Hawaii. 2 trophies each. They're making
2 trophies each?
They're making 2 for me.
How you getting? What's your other trophy in?
They're gonna make
Linguistics?
He says
MVP of the weekend.
They're gonna make a JLIT one for me. So.
MVP of the
After
weekend.
party MVP?
Hey, different. No comment. on
Allegedly?
that. Yeah, allegedly. So
At the good
JB's
company?
winning the JLIT, and then Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament. Me and
Rip City.
Rip City shooters all the way to the bank. You can bet on that.
Wow. Look. Have you seen the lengths that To Infinity and Beyond go to win?
This is the Rip
This tag
City
team-
shooters debut in AIW. I don't know if people know that.
Well,
Do people
yeah,
know that?
I don't
This is
think
at
I'm
the
aware.
Odeon.
I'm aware.
Before I even have a wrestling match in there, they're already saying it's the Rip
No,
City
look, there's
home
nothing.
base.
There's
I
nothing
didn't say
against.
it.
Nothing
Odeon
against.
Are you going to
tweeted
be
it.
on the marquee? Is going to
I
say
think so. I
JLIT
think we get
featuring
the whole
Rip City
front.
shooters?
I think we get the whole
It's
front.
nothing against you guys. I think you got all the talent in the world,
Whoa,
and you guys
okay.
the camaraderie.
No
but
offense, but
Yeah,
with all
Josh-
due
let's hear
respect,
it. Where are you
Joshua
going?
Bishop has a huge night 1 matchup.
But I'm going to be right by his side
Yeah,
to make sure
I
he's
mean,
you can't
for-
discount the Wes Barkley
Yeah.
factor.
And you guys, so
Thank you. The Barkley effect is what
by
I
the
like.
time,
Okay, all right,
by the time you guys get to the finals of the tag team tournament,
he's gonna be
that'll be
well-rested.
his 3rd match.
Yeah.
His 3rd match already that weekend.
It'll be well read. But so would whoever else is in it with him. It'll be their 3rd. But they don't have a guy
No.
on their side.
No, he said
Colin and Cheech only have to wrestle in the tag tournament.
If you guys make it to the final,
If you guys make it to the finals,
tag.
that's his 3rd match
that's his third
already
match
that
for the
weekend.
weekend.
And then he's going to have to wrestle 2 more that night with the weight of that trophy that
I'm
he's going to
just-
be carrying.
I'm
those
just
are
using
heavy.
I'm
They
just
are
using
heavy.
logic here.
Yeah, well, my picks don't change. So thanks
right.
for that. But yep, Rip City all the way to the
That's
bank.
good to have that
Yeah.
kind of confidence.
Yeah,
Got to have it.
Yeah,
trying. I'm just
I'm not going to give my
Yeah.
picks because
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
I know who's winning.
that'd be awfully biased.
Wait, what?
That check clear.
What do you mean? You know who's
You get that wire I sent you?
Yeah,
You get
well,
that Bitcoin?
kayfabe, bro.
kayfabe.
All right. Well,
But I will take all this conversation into consideration.
Nice.
okay. All right. And once again, folks, don't forget about the after parties. If you are joining us here in Cleveland, Ohio, after party night 1 is at Nax Eatery and Drinkery. It's on Smith Road, Brook Park, Ohio. Very
Fully
close.
staffed Nax, only about 3 minutes away from the hotel.
Yeah, very close to the
Nice.
hotel. Well, that our folks are staying at. Hopefully, you're staying near to there. And then night 2, we are back at Good Company. It is 76th Street, I think, is what it's on.
I believe so.
In Cleveland, not far. like I
Battery
said, not
Park
far from
area.
Mount Carmel, Battery
Nice.
Park
Just,
area.
just by the fork in the road past Mount Carmel,
Yeah, you're right. There you go.
the
So,
Burger King fork.
Join us at
Oh yeah, it is right there.
one or all of those. We hope it's all of them. And we'll talk to you guys next week right here on AIW's. The card is going to change for the Duke, for Wes Barkley, for John Thorne. So long, everybody.
1200 West 76th Street is the address for Good Company.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Great
Better be
food,
there.
great drinks, good company.
Bye.